All right, the third sort of indicator of health, again, you all know, is, of course, to create density, to create overlap of activities, not mixed-use buildings. I mean, come on. I mean, how many mixed-use buildings can you have? Mixed-use neighborhoods are very, very essential. Mixed use in terms of who lives there, in terms of the kind of housing provided, and the kind of amenities that take place there. And be very, and there, not be too conservative, as opposed to be very tasteful. Right? The city of Louisville, I don't know how many of you have visited it, the city of Louisville, about your size, although bigger now because it sort of has a consolidated government, bigger in terms of overall population, has done this in a very brilliant way, in my opinion. Along their main street and towards the river, they've sort of invented a bunch of kind of incredible institutions by hook or crook. I'll just identify some of them. By the way, they're riverfront, designed by the very same people that designed a good section of yours. You can tell by the steps, right, and the angles and the bumpy topography, right? They invented a Muhammad Ali museum because, of course, he was born in Louisville. They recruited back from Indiana. They stole from Indiana, just across the Ohio River, the Louisville Slugger bat manufacturer. Fabulous thing to do. Of course, it should be in Louisville, not in Indiana somewhere. And of course, along their main street, they were very careful to preserve and reuse many of their older sort of 19th century warehouse buildings. But the effect is amazing because they were not shy about adding the new to the old. So, of course, next to the new bat factory, and that's where bats are actually being made now, they put a big bat up there. It's fabulous. Of course, strict preservationists probably were like, shaking to their very roots. But it's a fabulous thing to both identify this institution and to animate a public street, a historic street. They found ways of reusing older buildings, in this case introducing lofts up above, and a kind of glass factory that inhabited the neighborhood and put it back in there. That involves, of course, a commercial enterprise as well as actually glass blowers. So a fabulous mixed-use building, making glass, selling glass, and, of course, living up above. And they're not shy about being kind of funky, maybe weird, as the Portlandians wish to call themselves. This is the best little boutique hotel anywhere outside of Manhattan. And it has these fabulous penguins all over this historic building. And there's works of art in everyone's room and so forth. So Louisville is a wonderful historic city that loves to live in the 21st century, not by destroying its history, but of course by adding culture, contemporary culture to it. And that's a kind of a wonderful lesson right there as well about life moving on as opposed to somehow being static. Urbanism is not about a static nature of existence. So what are the challenges involved in sort of this indicator? Well, again, enabling more responsive zoning sometimes to allow such things to happen. Non-traditional financing mechanisms are required to get some of these things going on. And, of course, seeking out various nonprofit and other unconventional partners with which to kind of restore and re-inhabit urban cities. And you've done it very well in this town as well.